Hello. I see your true colors shining. See your true colors. That's why I love you. Don't be afraid to let them show. True colors, true colors, beautiful. Love the way you move. Good evening.
Hey family.
Yes, welcome. Welcome. Tell a friend that we are live now. A special day to us, a special day to you. True colors shining. Your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show. True colors, true colors, true colors are shining. See your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid.
Hey Ashley's mom, how are you? Hey Catherine, thank you for joining us.
True colors are beautiful.
Nomsky, thank you for coming through.
Sorry guys, I'm just inviting others to join the watch party.
Regina Gwebu, thank you for joining us. Show me your rainbow. Hi Kane, thank you for joining. Precious, all the way from Zimbabwe. Much love, my sister.
Oh yeah, Cha, how are you?
Top fan of the season.
Hey, Asante, how are you? Good evening. Love.
Today we are in the mood of getting all the questions in.
Yes. Yeah. Bring them in.
Hi Tabiso, thank you for joining us.
Oh, beautiful. True colors. True colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors.
Hey Portia, thank you for joining.
Yeah. Good evening. I hope you have told a friend to tell a friend that we are on air. Yes. It's a Thursday evening and we've been waiting for this day. It's such a special day to us, babe.
Every day is special, but today is more important because it's Ask Us Thursday.
Yes, so before we start anything, before we greet you, if you have any question that you want to ask to us in regards to...
Chai is saying, are you sure? Yeah.
Bring
Some
it on.
questions
Yeah.
here already.
Yes. So other people send their questions already, and I think we have a number of questions already. So if you have any question that you want to send to us, both those which are directed to us and questions in regards to marriage, please send them in. But before we do the question time, I would like to take this opportunity to say to you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We know you are giving us your precious possession, which is time. Time is quite important, but you decided to tune in and you are following us. We also want to thank you for your feedback. To hear from as many as those who can give us feedback in regards to how we are doing.
Yeah, we need it. We rely on your feedback. It's what keeps us going, and it's what keeps us evolving and transforming and making this ministry even better. Back if there are any areas that you'd like us to address pertaining to marriage, do let us know. We have a community, a network of married couples that are more than happy to come on this platform.
Yes.
To share with us and to share with you as well.
Yeah. And heads off to pastors, leaders who are probably, some of them, they lead bigger ministries and they're ever following, and some of them they call us over the phone to just give us a word of advice, and some to pray for us. To us, that's priceless. We are so thankful. More important, you. Yes, I mean capital letter Y-O-U, you who is watching us right now. You know, we without you wouldn't be here. So you mean a lot to us.
That's right, guys. So we're gonna get straight to it. Like we mentioned, it's Ask Us Thursday, and we have a few questions through to us, and we will just be going through question by question. And if you feel that you have an extra question that hasn't been answered, do
send it in.
We'll be more than happy
to
do that. So question number 1, which is before us, it says that families can break relationship. Did you ever encounter family drama, and how did it affect your relationship?
Oh yeah, Minister Komolafe, how are you, ma? Thank you so much for tuning in. Family drama, it's quite a tricky one, you know. I come from a cool family, you know. We're a cool family. We don't have dramas and all those things. I don't know what you're talking about.
Drama from in-laws, at-laws, and all of that. Have we encountered?
Yes, definitely. I think for Priscilla and I, we had a challenge that we got into a relationship when we were quite young. So I would say nobody believed in us.
No.
And to be fair, even we ourselves, we didn't believe in ourselves as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna last this far. Yeah.
It was tough for Priscilla's parents to look at this boy who is coming and he's saying, you love my daughter who is pretty young and you are also young, and it was a tug of war to do. You still need to find something to do. And I remember one of the days, Priscilla's parents, they had a lot of pressure to understand what was it. And our pastor then, God bless him, Bishop Jeffrey, he called me and he sat us down and he said, tell me, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to get married? And that question, you know, it didn't make a lot of sense because
we were very young. We never thought of marriage at that time.
So it was quite hard for us to say what we were thinking. But what I know is there was chemistry. I loved her and she loved me. You know, we were like little puppies whereby you just want to, you know, be playing with each other. We didn't know what to do with each other, but what we knew is I loved her.
Yeah, and I can say that the dramas were a lot at some point. And my family was saying you guys need to call it quits because you've got a future ahead of you. You are still very young. You need to pursue your career, your education. And the pressure got so intense at some point that I remember us sitting down just to call it quits. We was just that we know we love each other,
but it's not working.
It's not working. Our parents are not going to accept this, and we just have to stop it.
And we were crying that day. Yeah, we were crying. She was crying, and I was sobbing as well. And we managed to resolve it, and we say, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
And she went her way, and I went my way. Then 5 days later.
5 days later, what happened 5 days? Part of what I remember is that within our space, the time that we had broken up, I'm not sure if it was a month or so, another boy started chasing me.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they were asking me out, and at that point I was thinking, yeah, if my parents don't want him, then probably I can go out with the other guy. But thank God, I didn't say yes. And eventually we discovered that the life was difficult without you. And
for me, I kind of agree to say, let's call it a day, but deep within me, I was like somebody who is saying, of course I'm sitting down, but in my heart I'm standing.
Yeah.
So I didn't give a room. I wasn't chasing anybody, though I knew at that time that Priscilla had found somebody who is making her crazy where she's going.
I didn't date him.
You didn't date him for long, but
I didn't date him.
Something happened. There was something happening, and to the glory of God, it didn't materialize.
It didn't work, and here we are again. We came back together. We overcame all the family challenges. And apparently now our family, before we got married, they were so much in support, and they gave. So we persevered through the family challenges, the obstacles, and we are here.
I think that the main thing was for them to know what we intended to do, our intentions, what we were intending to do in our relationship.
That's right. So in 2, it says that I always see you guys together. Do you sometimes feel bored with each other?
Definitely. I do feel sometimes. Yes, I feel bored.
Of course, I know.
We're human beings. I'm somebody who is quite happy doing what I do with my wife, but there are certain moments whereby I want my space, and Priscilla is quite clever when it comes to that she gives me my space. I do want to read. I do want to. I'm somebody who wants. Sometimes I need that time of loneliness and making reflection. Whereas with Priscilla, she's somebody who wants, just to be there.
Contact,
and through communication, she understands and she knows when I need my space, and she gives me my space, and I also understand that she's somebody who needs that closeness. So I don't keep away for long in my
solitary place,
in my man's cave. Men, we have that. We want to be in a man's cave.
And for me, I would say that yes, I do get bored sometimes, in as much as you have to make me laugh when I'm bored. I'm like, you know what, I'm just bored at this minute. Sometimes I as well need some time just to be alone, and you're a very touchy person as well.
That's true.
And I would say maybe because you understand my language. So sometimes I'm just in the kitchen and I'm chilled, and I'm like, I just don't want no drama. It's one of those moments where I'm just in a serious state of mind and I don't want any drama. And then there you pop in, and you just start dealing my body.
The body and the brains.
But then, so sometimes I'm like, I'm bored. But then you just find a way of making it humorous at the end of the day. So yes, we do sometimes feel bored of each other. Yeah.
Next question. So if you have a question right there you want to ask us, probably direct, please send it in. That's
right. Question number 3, it's that. Have you guys had good examples of marriage?
Well, I think I have said this and I will keep on repeating it, that we come from families where was not portrayed the way we probably are trying to build ours. We had a father. We had I had a father and a mother, but the way they did it, it was something that was kind of private. You know, a man who comes home and goes to work, have that intimacy which we would see from my parents, from my own point of view. You know, there was dysfunctionality, parents living sometimes cities and all the stuff. So it was I didn't see that marriage that I desired. So when I got married, I had this hunger that within me to say I would love to have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the things that I'm implementing now.
That's powerful. And can you say that you had a role model, or that someone that role modeled the type of marriage that you wanted, or it's something that is totally out of the blues?
Not really, because to be honest, there are a lot of things which I look at now and I designed. I wish my dad had told me or had assured me, which me. But to be honest, what it is if you cannot learn from your father, God will always bring a father figure to you, or bring somebody to you to learn from. So instead of learning from them, notwithstanding that there are some certain I did not want them, I learned them as well. You know, family pathologies, they are quite real. So there are certain things that I learned from my dad, which I didn't like. Probably it was his shouting. I didn't like his shouting. And once in a while, I sometimes feel the granddad coffee in me to my children. And I had to say to myself, you know what, hold your horses. I sometimes feel the very same thing to do to my wife as my father used to do to my mom. But so these are some of the things that we picked up as we were growing. But you know, we time and again keep on fighting.
Oh yes, keep on fighting. That for me, I did not have a great example of a marriage. I witnessed dysfunctionality as well, issues of infidelity, which at some point it shaped my way of thinking. And I remember that I was expectant and looking forward to the time that we would get married and you would cheat on me. And I had already made a coping mechanism that if this happens, I remember telling you that if you cheat on me, I'm going to cheat on you. So I had made a way of escape should in case that was going to happen. So I didn't have that great example of honesty, love, and functionality in a marriage. So what we are building here is organic, and it is the grace of God that we are desiring to do different to what we saw and what the examples that we saw growing up. I hope that's answered. Question number 4, it says, what did you learn about physical affection from your parents?
You know what? Moments I would see my mom and my dad probably holding hands. It's either we are at a wedding and
taking pictures.
They are taking pictures, or they have been invited to come dancing. Even dancing, they would probably sometimes dance separately. So it's not something that we grew up seeing. It's not something that was right there when we were growing up. But we didn't see much of that on my side. I didn't see much of that. It was my father, you know, doing his own things, my mother doing her own things, and if they are walking, probably my father at in front and my mom will be just following behind.
Yes, that's the same as what I would say I experienced as well. I didn't see that physical affection being displayed in my own parents' life. I know that when it came to taking pictures, they would sit together, hold hands, and sometimes peck. But those are not things that we
To
would
fulfill
see,
righteousness.
yes, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that's what we've learned from our parents. But we are implementing different systems and strategies.
Yeah, like I said, there will always be somebody whom when you look to the left or to the right, you would want to learn from. So we did not just end at looking at our parents, but we had to go that extra mile to look at those down with them up until now. I think up until on Monday we called one of our mentors, and we had probably more than an hour, speaking with them over the phone, trying to learn new things, trying to understand that things that which we do not understand. So it's all about a blueprint that you desire and ask those people how best you can follow that blueprint.
That's right. I hope that's answered. The next question says, what little gestures do you do throughout the day that brings fireworks at night? So what are those little things that you think we do throughout the day that brings fireworks?
If ever there's one thing which I learned from my father, it's my father. He's a jockey. He's a
joke.
Yeah. So he likes throwing jokes, a lot of humor. So number one, I'm somebody who is quite humorous. I try time and again to throw those little things to Priscilla. Secondly, I also do not want to. Priscilla doesn't like to be given too much space. A love language. I try to implement it over and over again. So if I'm around, if I'm home, if we're together, then the ministry of hands, I'm always, on her, trying to fulfill my duties and knowing for her to feel and know that I'm there. Then finally, we do not spend time, even if I go out to the shops, we don't spend time without calling each other. Sometimes it's just, hi baby, I'm in this shop, hi baby, I have seen this, I've noticed that. And it has become a custom to, within us, even our children, when you go to the shops, sometimes they say, Mom, did you call dad? So they know that this is what's happening to us. So they subconsciously, they're in the system.
That's right. Just adding on to that as well, that for me, I think some of the little gestures, which includes just doing house chores, they go a long way for me.
Okay.
And I know for some women, they do go a long way as well. There's a statement that says that there is nothing attractive to a woman than a man who sacrifices, who works to make sure that her needs are taken care of. So if she needs help in the house, doing that, I think those are little gestures. If she needs help doing a few chores in the house, making sure you do that, you do that. I think it goes a long way and it brings fireworks at night.
Good to know.
Yes. The next question says, what was the hardest lesson you've had to learn? Before you answer that, yes. Greetings to Pastor Sanil Kumar, all the way from India. Thank you so much for joining us, Pastor.
Man of God, how are you? Yeah, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Amen, and thank you for the amazing work that you're doing in India. God bless you abundantly.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what was the hardest lesson that you've had to learn?
Believe it or not, one of the hardest lessons that I learned was, for me to know that we are married till death do us part with one partner. Yeah. So the vows are not changing, but I'm married to somebody who is ever evolving, who is ever changing. So because I thought, okay, I'm married to Priscilla, first year we're living together, I now know her. And the moment I thought I was knowing her and I've known her fully, little did I know that the person whom I was knowing then was the old Priscilla. That there was a new Priscilla ahead of me. So the fact that I've got an assignment to keep on chasing, keep on following, trying to learn Priscilla daily, to me was one of the hardest lessons I've learned, because nobody told me that you're getting into a relationship. When you get there, the person whom you're getting to meet is going to be changing over and over again, and you are also going to be changing. She's spiritually, physically. There are certain needs that she had 3 years ago. She no longer needs them. There are certain things that she enjoyed a couple of years ago. She is no longer enjoying them. So it's one thing that I learned a little bit late.
That's right. Thank God you learned it. Thank God you did. And Angeline says here that house chores is a thumbs up, isn't it, sis? It does bring fireworks at night. Catherine, yes, thank you. Good point. It does go a long way, guys. It does go a long way. And for me, I'd say one of the hardest lessons to learn, it was you actually sitting me down to give me that lesson. And I think it made it even more harder. I thought it would have been easy if my aunt or my mom would have set me down to give me that lesson. But I remember you calling me one night and telling me that, babe, I know that your mom has told you, she's given you the stereotypical idea of what a wife should be, looking after the affairs in the house, looking after children, cooking and doing stuff like that. And you said to me that if you want a chef, if you wanted a great cook, you would have married a chef.
Yeah.
And I was like, ouch. I really found it painful, by the way. And you also say to me that if you were passionate about looking at the house spotless every single day, you would have married a cleaner. And again, I was like, ouch, this is so painful and yet so true. So what you were pointing to me is that my priorities were out of order. They were totally messed up because I was concentrating on the things that are not you, the things that are external, the house chores, what you have ate, and all of the stuff. So I can say that I've learned it the hardest way, and I wish I knew that the only way to a man's heart is meeting his primary needs. Everything else follows after that. So just learning to understand your spouse, understanding what their needs are, and meeting those before you take care of all the other stereotypical ideas of what a woman should provide in a marriage.
That's true, because in most cases we run with other people's template, we run with other people's plan. And to be honest, I have met many people who not so long we were talking to a young guy, and he was saying, my wife thinks what my pastor likes or what my prophet likes is what I like. So the wife is saving the husband the things which Papa, the prophet or the man of God likes, and he's saying, no, I'm different from my
man of God.
To make matters worse, we come from different backgrounds. So whenever the wife does what she's doing, which she's probably taking from the man of God, it pains this young man in the relationship. So there are certain things that we need to sit down and say, look here, I know that we come from Zimbabwe, of course, and the Zimbabwean mentality regarding this is that, but as for me, my needs are different. So you work with me according to my needs.
Yep, and there goes communication. If you can sit down, communicate about it. Very painful, like what you did to me. I learned the hard way, but I thank God that I have finally grasped that. Here says, we're just married. What is something we should enjoy more because it won't be around for long? So this is a married couple. They are asking, what is it that they can enjoy more in their marriage because it won't be around for long?
To the young man, And the young woman, on my own perspective, which is different from Priscilla, that young man, all her needs are just simple 3 words: sex.
Or his needs, you mean?
Yeah, his needs, sex. You know what? I didn't know that we'll have more time together, but as you mature, as you grow, there is that need, that drive that probably those young people will be having now, that they will not have as they mature. And that is caused not only by age but also responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, there are things that we used to do with Priscilla. I remember when we were just newly married, we would go for holiday anytime. We would just drive and we go out and we sleep there without, nothing to think about. If it is at the toiletry, you can just jump into the shop there, buy some, and you use them. But then a few months or year down the line, we had a young man, and we would have to think of how best can we do everything, including him. Then few years later, it became more difficult because this young man was going to school. So you can't just say, oh, we want to go Great Yarmouth this summer, so let's just go without considering that, he's at school. So we have to plan everything according to the school calendar, to the school holidays and all this stuff. So there are certain things that are there. You will be together. We're going to be together for life. But that vibe that we are having now, sometimes it will take a lot to ignite it. And there are certain things that will come in as if they want to quench the fire.
I totally agree. From experience as well. I know when we got married, sometimes we would go 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds. But now there's too much responsibilities, honestly, and we can't keep up with the pace. So that, to you married, to you who are just married, yes, go ahead, have as much intimacy as you can. It won't be there forever. You won't be having it whenever you feel like forever. Their children may be in the picture at some point, and you need to consider them as well. So if you can do that now, do it as much
go ahead and do that
as you like. Enjoy, get intimate, and enjoy yourself. The last question
from here. So if you have any questions there, please send them in. We will try to do justice to them.
Yep. The last one from here says, when did you feel the worst emotion, perhaps to the point of utter despair in your marriage? I'm going to repeat that. So when did you feel the worst emotion, perhaps to the point of utter despair in your marriage?
You know what? I can't remember, but it's now more than 7 years because our last son is turning 7 now. It was before he was born, and in our relationship, from the day I met Priscilla, we had an agreement that even if we have a conflict, we don't
let the sun go down.
Let the sun go down. So even if we are about to sleep, we sit down, try to iron the differences.
And that meant that sometimes we sleep at 4 in the morning.
Yes.
4 in the morning. As long as that's not ironed out, we would just stay up all night, basically.
And it so happened, I can't remember what really triggered it, but it was those little things that leads to one thing and the other, and I started to feel I'm being pushed, and instead of me to attack the situation or the problem, I end up attacking attacking me.
Physically.
Yeah, verbally. So she's pointing at things that I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, so is it, I remember asking you, and is it a crime to be good? And I don't think I'm going to be good anymore. And
oh dear.
We had a long night. We had strong words at each other, and we didn't sleep all night. We were kind of talking the moment until Priscilla started crying. So it is when Priscilla was crying that I didn't come back to my senses, but I just felt like, let me end here. We'll finish tomorrow. Then we slept, and the next morning, Priscilla woke up, mood unusual of her, very angry, and you could feel the tension. And she went into the bathroom, showered and finished, changed. I went to the kids' room. I woke up the kids. I prepared the kids to drop them to the nursery. Before you know it, once I'm coming from the kids' room, I looked in. Priscilla had left for work, and quickly put the kids in the car.
This time, normally we would drive out together. Like you'd normally drop me at the bus stop, and you take the kids. But this time, I just felt like, you know what? I'm not talking to this guy. I'm just not talking to him. And because we were not talking to each other, one thing that the devil does is that when you cease to talk to one another, he then starts talking to you individually. So I the information that the devil would whisper to me, and he would talk to you as well. He would tell me all sorts like, oh, this guy, this thing is not going anywhere. This guy is bad. You need to just cut it off. And I know you were having your own negative thoughts as well.
And I went to the car. I put the kids in the car, and I was driving. And as I'm driving up the road, and so Priscilla and my son, the firstborn, Tanaka, screamed and said, "Oh, Dad, there is Mom. Wait for Mom. Wait for Mom." I mean, he's quite young, taking him to nursery, and he said, "Wait for Mom." And I said, "Son, you know what? I'm not gonna wait for Mom." And I drive past it. She saw me. She didn't look at me. She didn't worry about it. I'm saying, you know what? I'll look after my kids. And then to me it was, if at all anything happens, I'll take care of my children. I'm quite I think I'm more overprotective of my children. So I said, you know what, my children, I'll take care of them. I'm dropping them, pick them up, and all this stuff. In the evening, I didn't call it throughout the whole day. It was
very unusual.
Very unusual. No text message, no calling.
And I didn't even call as well.
Went to pick up the kids, arrived home, and the challenges where their children, they're going to Mom, they're coming to Dad, and they could feel that there's a bit of tension. I went to prepare the dinner, prepare for the kids, eat, tag them, and went to the bedroom and slept. And now, right at the midnight or early hours of the morning, I woke up and I said to Priscilla,
this is not us.
You know what? This is not healthy. Because then I was feeling, I don't think I need to be here. Why can't I just take my bags, take my children, pack and go? Or, if at all, let her leave the place. So if she doesn't want to leave, then I will leave with my children. I just shove my bags in the car, put my children, stuff them in the car, then off I go. I'll find somewhere to go. But then, whilst I was thinking, I'm digesting, I said, no, this is not it. What am I doing? Then we sat down and we started speaking.
And I can say that I'm coming from background whereby speaking is not really what I enjoy doing. So if left for me, I could say, well, we can go on like this. I can just give you the silent treatment for as long as I can. But you coming from a background where you understand communication,
yes.
Conflict resolution. So we ended up having to sit and to talk. And it only turned out that it was just a misunderstanding, which caused a whole lot of rage. It was just a minor mistake, a misunderstanding. So I can say for me, I really felt the worst emotion. I felt like I don't think this is going to be resolved. I don't think I can forgive him for the words that he has said, and it was just the worst. But thank God that we managed to resolve it.
And I made a decision that day, and I said, anytime I'm going to speak to Priscilla and I feel like I did not understand, or she's saying things that whenever I feel like she's insulting me, instead of me to interpret the words the way I'm interpreting them. I would rather seek to understand.
What do
Yeah,
you mean
by this word? Do you know what this means to me? So then I also express my feeling to her.
And then in most cases, it turns out that whatever interpretation that you've given to yourself, or which the devil has given to you, is not what your spouse actually means. So it is good to seek to understand, what do you mean when you say this? And your spouse can definitely clarify.
And Steve Covey says, seek to understand, then you'll be understood. So if you understand the other part, the other person, it will be so easier for them to understand you.
Yes, there is
a
a question here that's come live. It says, how do you deal with each other's weakness? How do you deal with my weakness?
What we have come to realize is, my presence is to strengthen Priscilla. I'm here to strengthen her in her areas of weakness, and she's there for me in my areas of weakness. So we are not competing, and since we are not competing, I try by means necessary to cover those areas of weakness. And that doesn't necessarily mean that if she's going out of hand in regards to things that are aligned to the weakness, I ignore them. I call her, but I also call her to say, how can I help you to make things easier for you? Because when things are easier for her, they become easier for me. We don't have to treat each other as if we are in a battlefield. We are in a marriage. We will need to enjoy this thing. The day I start to look at her as an enemy, then I'm fighting myself. And that day I've lost it. So dealing with her weakness, I try to call her and try to help her. Yeah, we communicate, but also my input in her weakness is what is needed most. Because if she could do it by herself, then she won't need me.
You. And just giving an example on that is, I struggle. Ever since we got married, it's an area of pain to you, but I am still weak in that area. And one of the ways that you help is, especially if you're going to church, sometimes a lot of the times actually, you would get the kids prepared, because you know that Priscilla might probably take her time. So if she's to take care of the children, take care of the other affairs, it's gonna take even longer. So you make provision for my areas of weakness. And sometimes it means that before the night, the night before, you'd make sure you get all the clothes ironed, get everything in place, just to make provision for my weakness. So I would say, in area of your spouse's weakness, make provision where you can communicate as much as possible, and just remember that you are a team, and when they are weak, strengthen them in that area.
Yeah, my son always say, Dad, you know what, individuals cause but teams win. So if we want, in as much as I'm the one who is scoring, at the end of the day, it is our team that is winning. So I would rather stand on the gap and cover her weakness than things will start flowing for all of us.
That's right. One with a question with us before we sign out. But I hope that has been answered. Yes, I can see my sister says that's great teamwork indeed. Marriage is about partnership, as we have discussed in the earlier episodes. It's about partnership. There is no I in teamwork. It is us. So when you're weak, cover each other up and let life continue. It's about feathering together.
Yes.
If you've got any other question, do send it through before we sign out. Just a quick shout out to Faro Katambarare, all the way.
Yeah, he's in Zambia now.
In Zambia.
Yes.
Rejoice, all the way from South Africa. We acknowledge your presence. I saw my sister Millie Carew. Thank you for joining us. Lydia, thank you for joining us. Yes, Rejoice, you have a question. Bring it on.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in.
Out.
Bring it in.
Yes.
Let it come. I hope it's not. I hope it's not one of those questions that will take us longer to answer and it will be a difficult one. Yeah, if it is something that is out of my line, I will have to say, let me bring somebody who can help us with that one. Yes, can you go ahead?
Yeah. This is Pastor
Pastor
Chico.
Chico
Thank you
Ndare,
so
yeah.
much.
Thank you so much, woman
Mom,
of God.
Thank you so much for joining us. So she says you make provision for your spouse's area of weakness. Marriage is about complementary partnership. That's right. You're complementing one another.
Yes.
There's no competition to it. So when I'm weak, you complement me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that contribution, Pastor.
You know what? Very few people might know that with me, I have a challenge when it comes to writing. I'm good at speaking, I'm good at constructing, but if I type a lot of typo errors, and with Priscilla, she had that eye for detail. So when I'm sitting down to do anything, even when I was at uni, I'm doing my coursework, then that's what I can do. I do. Then I hand it over to her. Say, babe, please help me with this. Then she takes over, and it makes the whole thing, flow
easier. And I can say that it's out of maturity that you realize that he doesn't have to do the same thing that I do. I know back then it was, but I'm doing this. Why can't you do this? Why can't you type? Do you do your own typing and I will do my own proofreading? Yeah. And there's no marriage when it comes to that. So it's about teamwork. Make provision for your spouse's weakness. Yeah, there comes the question. Do you guys put together your finances and plan together, or each for his own? My money, my cash, my bank.
All right. This is a suggestion, and I want you to understand that families, they're in different sizes and different shapes. So some of the things that works for me might not work for you. When we first met with Priscilla, Priscilla was the one who handled the money. All the monies would go to Priscilla and she would do the whole organizing and all this stuff. I don't have the grace of paying the bills and all that and buying the groceries and all that. I have the grace of bringing the money and giving it to her. And we reached a point where all our money is into one account, and it became a challenge whereby it's her birthday, I want to buy her a gift. Or it's another day where I just want to make a surprise to her. And I need £50, I need £100 to surprise her. And she has all the money. And with her, she's waiting to say, why is it that my husband these days, she's no longer doing what she used to do when we
first got married?
Yeah, when we first got married. And I'm saying, hang on, you have all the money.
All the money. So if you need anything, go and buy.
Yes. So she will do with the finances, and mine was to just raise certain issues to say, I think we should do this, would you do that, and do that. But then we reached a point whereby we said, you know what, even if we bring our money together, why can't you have a policy whereby we also give each other allowances? So we bring our money together, then Priscilla got his allowance, I got my own allowance, so that there are certain things that I might want to do for her or to do for somebody else, which to her might not be, a necessity, but to me it is. So to avoid that tension, then she has a little allowance and I have my little allowance. But other than that, all of our money comes into one pocket. We do organize and do our things together.
That's right. And I hope that you've been rightly answered there. It all comes in different shapes and sizes. So sit down with your spouse and see how best you can work your financial matters together. We are aware that when it comes to two people, one may be the spender and one will be the saver. So one will be likely to be spending a lot. So you need to consider areas of savings so that money is not coming in and just going out that way. So you need to sit down and have a proper financial dialogue, know how best it will work for your family.
And I must say, money is one of the biggest challenges, and is one of the biggest I would say it's one of the biggest challenges in marriage, and it's one of the biggest contributors. Whenever you hear people that they're having a challenge or they've divorced, issues of money and infidelity, they are kind of, hinged somewhere there.
Yes, okay. So Rijo acknowledges, yes, I have been answered. Thank you so much. Thank you for asking. And Mommy Lola Komalafe says, any man can father, but it takes a special person to be a dad. In fact, you're a real dad. Thank you very much,
God.
Mom.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Yeah.
To the glory of God. It is people like you who always put us into perspective. Whenever we feel like we want to jump there, you always there for us, and you are also praying for us. So it is your God, it is our God who is doing it.
Precious says that do your own typing. I sometimes say that because hubby does that to me always. I know it happens, but we have to come to a point of just complimenting one another. What's the point of your husband spending 2 hours typing something that you can type in 5 minutes? What's the point of me struggling in an area that my spouse can help me? So we have each other for a reason. So let's make life easier, knowing that we are a team. We are here to complement one another and not to compete. So I hope this marks the end of the do your own typing.
Yes, let's do it together. We are a team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the questions that we have for today.
Yes, if you have questions and you are bringing them in, we'll also address them at a later stage. But otherwise, feel free to get in touch. We can discuss. You a couple out there, or you are having a challenge, or you just want to keep the fire burning, get in touch. We will definitely find means and ways of working and helping each other.
That's right. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. We are here to sharpen one another. Today we are here to ignite the fire in your marriage. Another day it can be you igniting the fire. So that's the reason why we are feathering together. It's not just about us, but it's about us as a community. How can we empower and enrich our marriages as a community? If you have any topic that you would want us to address in the near future, do DM us. We will be more than glad to bring in pastors, experts, people that are experienced to come and share with us. So before we leave, we always give a homework to us and to our viewers. So Mr. Kane.
Yes, hey, my brother John Makombe, how are you there? Yes. Our homework for this week is it's called 21 by 2 or 2 by 21. We want to ignite the love by positive affirmation. So every day, look for 2 things that you'll affirm to your spouse. So in the morning, say one thing. In the evening, say one thing. For 21 days, 2 things. Just look for 2 things which you say good about your spouse for the next 21 days. And you will see how marriage will change.
Fireworks.
Many people have asked, what difference does it make? Just imagine. I remember there's another time when Priscilla, she went to the salon and she had a hairdo and she came, I looked at her and all of it, I forgot to say, it's a beautiful hairstyle. Then she went to work and as she was going to work, she met another guy who said,
I met a bus driver.
Yes.
And the bus driver is like, oh, hey,
she said, Miss, looking good.
Yeah.
And when she
felt like
so when she came here, of course she expressed it, but what I discovered was, if this person was somebody who is at her workplace and is complimenting her over and over again and I'm not, then something is being, brewed on that side. So why can't I do it? Because I could see that the hairstyle is good, but familiarity sometimes make us not to appreciate the things that are around us, and what you do not appreciate will depreciate.
Yes.
So go for 21 days, appreciate one another, just 2 things a day for 21 days.
Yes, and by the way, everyone needs affirmation, be it a husband or a wife. We live by those words of affirmation, just knowing that your spouse appreciates or they value something about you goes a long way. So let's go ahead, let's do it. Look for something, be it physical, anything internal about them, maybe inner beauty or outer beauty. Make sure you affirm, let them know that you love this about them, you appreciate this. They are good in a particular way. So let's go and do it for 21 days.
Yeah. What more shall we say apart from saying thank you so much for giving us your time, which is your precious possession, pastors, bishops, and leaders who are out there. Thank you so much for humbling yourself to come here. And also thank you for always being there for us, supporting us with prayers. We can never take that for granted.
Pastor Chipo, I love you so much.
Yes, our prayer warrior.
Yes.
For me and my beautiful wife Priscilla here, we're signing out till we meet again. God bless you. We love you.
I love you guys.
God bless you.